Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just woke up. Was in Philadelphia last night. I was at another Landmark event, a graduation. My boy Dave reviewed the Landmark Forum, and I got invited to come down, and I went. And last night was so amazing, and I want to share this moment with you because there were so many breakthroughs and so many different things that happened last night. One of the things, you get to invite people to see what you experience what you experience. Dave said he was going to do 30. He was going to invite 30 people. All I know is that Dave had the most invites there. So that really opened my eyes up to what Dave is trying to do. Dave is really standing for people. Dave is going out there and talking to people about this amazing journey he's embarked on and how it bettered his life, his family, his kids, everything. So while I was there, there was other amazing stories, and it was something that I got clear with, that I was present to, and that was really standing for people. I had a young lady that I was having a conversation with, and she was being real reluctant. She was having a conversation, but she just didn't want to really engage in the conversation. And because I was standing for her, she kind of looked at me like, yo, why is this dude being so aggressive or just being so extra? And it's not that I'm being extra. It was just I was really standing for to really see what this is about. And then I got it. On my way back to New York, I got it. You see, not that I was being annoying and I was bothering her or just being extra. It was like I really wanted her to understand that this can really transform your life. And when you really stand for somebody, you don't take no for an answer. You find a way. You find a way to get that person to have that aha moment or to get over that hump. You see, most people say, I can't, not right now. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have this, that, and then most people are like, okay, no problem. But what happens when you say, well, let's try to find out what you can do. Let's see if we can make a budget for you to do this, or let's see how we can find time for you can do this. That means now you're standing for that person. You're supporting them, but you're really standing for them, because now you're not taking no for an answer. You're not taking no. I can't. Okay, well, you can't right now, but can you do it later on? And most people don't have that type of conversation, and then they get stuck in this limbo like, oh my God, why is this guy going so hard? Or why is this female going so hard? It's not that I'm going hard, it's that I'm standing for you. You see, when somebody stands for you, they really sit up here and try to help you, not even try, go the extra distance of finding a way that you can get this done. Now, I've done the Landmark education, and that's transformed my life to ways that I've never, ever imagined. Getting clear with my relationships, my ex-relationships, just dealing with all the different situations, not even dealing with, getting clear with all the situations in my life and really handling them. I met this young guy at one of my classes, and for some odd reason, he was like, I like you, Chico. It was just something about you, the way you communicate. It's like you tell a story. And I was just like, you know what? That's kind of interesting, because I've heard that before. Having this conversation with this gentleman, he's a writer. He's an avid reader, read over thousands of books. He's a young guy. And he said, tell me about yourself. And I said, we started talking, and we got on the subject about writing. And I have dyslexia. And for many, many years, I let dyslexia hold me back. But one of the things I love to do is I like to write. And when I was younger, I won a couple awards for poetry, not rap, poetry. And I don't want to rap, but I'm a AKA ex-poet, whatever you want to call it. And he was like, yo, dude, you should start doing that again. And I'm like, nah, I don't know if I want to do that. He's like, nah, bro, I think it'd be great. I think you should do it. So I'm like, wait a minute, this guy is starting to stand for me. And I'm like, okay, where is this going? He said, you got any of your old writings? I said, nah, my mom's house burned down like 10 years ago. I don't know. He's like, man, you should go back to the house to see if you can find it. I'm like, the house ain't there. This dude actually had me, after we had this conversation, I was present to something. Why not? So I went back to the house, and I started, my old house I grew up in. And I was like, I wonder if It is still in the house. The house is still up. The house is completely burned down except for my room. So I went into that house and I said, you know what? I know I can find the poetry. I know I can find these papers. And I found the papers, but I couldn't read them. It was over 10 years ago, but I was like, wow. I said, because this guy stands for me. I started doing something I haven't done in years. So I called the guy up and said, yo, listen, bro, I found the papers, but I can't read them because all the, it's destroyed. He said, okay, well, let's start now. And I'm like, here I go again. I'm like, nah, I don't know. Then I said, wait a minute. I came all the way to Long Island to a burnt down house, kicked in the door to the only room that was still up and walkable to walk into. Why not? So what happened? I wrote this 13-page story about life. And then I wrote another 13-page story. Then another one. And I said, oh my God, I feel so alive. Because this individual that I don't even know like that, he stood for me to be the person I need to be, or to better myself or get back to the things that I love to do. He stood for me. He stood in the face of no agreement and had agreement. And now this gentleman that I don't even know from Brooklyn has me writing on a regular basis. That's what happens when somebody stands for you, because that person sees your greatness to the point where he or she's willing to go to be uneasy, to get you uncomfortable so you can find your way. So what I'm saying to you out here, ladies and gentlemen, stand for something other than yourself, because to be successful, what you need is to have other people around you standing for you and you standing for them. But if you're only standing for yourself and thinking about yourself, the only success you're going to have is on a personal level versus on a group level, taking it to the next level. You want to live life? Trust me when I tell you, go out there, have a conversation, stand for somebody else. Because if you make the impossible possible, guess what happens? That person will never forget you. And then it might be a situation that you might need assistance in, and that person will be there for you because you just created the impossible possible for standing up for somebody. So go out there, be the better version of you, get uncomfortable, stand for somebody, and do the thing you always wanted to do. It don't matter who's looking at you. Just go out there and do it. Mr. Turnup, I'm out of here. This is what? Wednesday motivation, Wednesday stand up. It don't matter. About to hit this gym up, do these 6 miles, do what I got to do. I'm out of here. Thank you again, Dave, for inviting me. Team Herbalife, Team Possibility. Open up a realm of possibilities. It don't matter. Get it done. Holla, peoples.